Turn the lights off so you can see what I was gonna say.
Elaine, you're not gonna read your journal, are you?
Call this meeting to order Tuesday, January 18th. Roll call, please.
Mayor Anderson.
Here.
Troy Boone.
Here.
Troy Dolan.
Here.
Will Wilkie.
Here.
Art Schott.
Here.
Teresa Swagan.
Here.
Mike Tiedemann.
Here. Agenda was sent out. Is there any changes to the agenda, or is there a motion to adopt?
Under new business, I'd like to just go into executive session prior to the last item that was added, the proposed change to Article 22 of the Police Department. So before we go into talk about that, we want to go into executive session first.
So the labor,
Yeah, for legal.
so the executive session will be for discussing the union agreement, correct?
Correct.
Is there a motion to adopt the amended agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Tiedemann and seconded to adopt the amended agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda's approved. Minutes for the January 3rd meeting were sent out. Is there a motion to approve the January 3rd, 2022 minutes?
Doden moves to adopt the minutes from the January 3rd, 2022 meeting.
Boone second.
Motion by Dolan and seconded to approve the January 3rd, 2022 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Visitors to be heard. No visitors in attendance. No committee reports. Department head reports and city administrator report. Chief Sure.
I'm not going to bore you with all the stats that I sent to you guys. You guys have had it. You've had a chance to probably look through it. Just want to touch base that we're up. I mean, we're up several percentages on all of our numbers. Our calls for service went up 37% from 2020 to this year. Our everything else went up. Our arrests, our traffic stops, our citations went up. That number, I know we don't really want to see that number continue to go up. Some people don't like to see it go up and up every year, but it's just the world we're living in. And the more better equipment we get, and it makes us more proactive, those numbers will continue to go up every year. So does anyone have any questions on any of the numbers they see there? Pretty self-explanatory.
Some questions?
What kind of new equipment would you be looking at?
Well, basically everything we're getting with that new Tahoe that'll be here in February. We're in the early stages of working on some grants for 2023. That'll get us, I mean, we're going to try to go over some speed signs in town. Maybe one on the west side of 46, one on the east side of 46. We already have a speed trailer, but those grants will get us like PVTs and in-car cameras when ours become obsolete and don't work anymore. So that'll be matched at 80-20 if we can figure out a new policy, a new wording for this grant as far as working overtime. That grant is basically federal overtime. Everything you work, the feds will reimburse you money, so it's free for the city.
What's the status of the engine on that?
It is in the mounts. I'm not a mechanic, but there's some fluid-filled motor mounts on there that when he went to go put it in, they failed. So he's waiting for them to come. Should be here shortly.
Okay.
Don't have a timeline, but he said the engine's all complete. As soon as those mounts come, it'll go in. So
And then you'll be back to fully staffed with your vehicles?
we'll be back to a good vehicle, one good one, and then we'll have the Dodge as a backup until February.
I just got another question. You guys, are you using the body cams?
Yep. Yeah, we use the body cams, which, sync up with our in-car cameras. So every time we have the lights on, our body cameras are on.
And then you got chargers in the vehicles in case they run low on batteries.
No, I don't run those. So we charge them every night. So They last more than a ship, so, but we always dock them because we have to download videos and it automatically just downloads when we dock them.
So like the taser runs up to date.
Yep, I think we're on year 3 of the term.
What about bulletproof vests? We're okay.
Yep, we're good. I think we got one that is expiring that, this year that he'll go and get fitted for one, so.
All right, thank you.
I'd like to see the taser demonstrated on Boone.
Not that big a deal. Anybody can do anything for 5 seconds.
You can run on a treadmill?
What's that?
Then run on a treadmill.
No other questions? Next on the agenda, Austin Hanson, Beresford, to discuss cable rates.
Yeah, do we need to go into one of the cable TV meeting for this? Get these rates approved?
We should. We'll just adjourn recess the meeting of the city council and we'll go into cable.
So we'll recess at 7:06.
I'd like to call a meeting to order for Beresford Cablevision. Roll call, please.
Nathan Anderson.
Here.
Troy Boone.
Here.
Troy Dolan.
Here.
Will Roque.
Here.
Art Shaw.
Here.
President Slegin. Mark Beeman.
Here.
Austin, you want to discuss the resolution in front of us?
Yes. Yeah, here to get the new rates approved. If you guys, in the council packet, I gave Jerry the rates from this year and then, or the rates that I want to get approved tonight, and then the rates from last year. And as you can see, most of the rates are increasing, and that is due to all of our programming rates. Most of our programming rates going up or increasing. Tier 1, for example, the rates are increasing to us 14.5%, and then also on Tier 2, they are going up 6.47%. We've also, on here, the digital box rates are going to be increasing. We've had some our guide rate has increased, our transport fee has increased, and also the cost for us to acquire digital boxes has increased as well. Any questions on any of that?
There's no questions. Can I get a motion to approve the resolution 2022-2?
Keeler makes a motion to approve resolution 2022-02.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any other agenda or any other items for the Cablevision?
No, not at this time.
No? Okay. Motion to adjourn Cablevision.
Keeler makes a motion to adjourn the Cablevision meeting. Second.
Motion's been made. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
We'll reconvene the city council meeting at 7:09. Elaine Johnson, Finance Officer.
So at the end of the year, whenever there is an account that is negative, the auditors have asked us to address it. And with these proposed journal entries, those would correct those negative balances. I visited with Teresa about them and she said that they looked good. The only thing is that the golf course needs to be, we need to visit about the golf course and where the funds are going to come for to cover those. So,
Go ahead.
oh, that's okay.
Well, I was just gonna say, Elaine has talked with the, correct me if I'm wrong, gentleman that kind of manages our bonds or kind of oversees that. Because we do have sufficient funds in the second, third penny cash accounts to cover the negative balance at the golf course. she's verified with him that once our bond payments are made, any excess in that account can be used for other things as the council decides. So if we do take the money out of that cash account to cover the negative balance at the golf course, it would leave only $62,000 in that account. However, my thoughts on that is if that account is going to continue to grow every year because we're going to bring in excess second, third penny tax that we don't need to cover bond payments and it doesn't go to anything else, we may as well use it to cover our deficits, or at least this year cover that deficit. Now get the golf course back positive or break even, and get that off of our audit report. So in addition to these that you're seeing on your screen, Elaine, do you have the number on the golf course one?
So the golf course is $613,658.21.
And they do have $40,000 in fit.
Right.
So,
but I think in prior conversations, we kind of wanted to believe that they're for building improvements.
Right, I'm just saying that
yeah.
we could transfer $600,000 even, and even though that would leave negative $12,000 in their cash account, on the audit report, it would still be a positive $28,000 because the audit report combines any cash and fit savings account. So I guess that would be my proposal in addition to those entries that Elaine has laid out for us, to also transfer $600,000 from the second, third petty cash account to the golf course to cover our deficit balance. Unless you guys think we should go more, because there's
There is $782,357.
So there's $782,000 in that cash account. We know it's most likely going to go negative again. Do we want to? We could address it every year, or we could try to put a little extra in there.
I think it's better to do it every year.
I would agree.
Then that's a clean number every year, what we had to do to true up the account.
Right.
And that is something that has shown up on the audit report every year. We're just working on it a little bit later this year than most planned. Alright, so we just need a motion to approve those journal entries and then
With the additional $600,000 from a third penny to the golf course. And 600 even, is that?
yeah, I think that'd be a good number to track.
So Doden makes a motion to approve the journal entries year-end 2021 as shown in our council packet with the addition of $600,000 from the third penny tax fund to the golf course.
Boone second.
So motion by Doden and seconded to approve the year-end journal entries for 2021 as listed with the addition of $600,000 to the golf course from the third penny, you said?
That's correct, right? Third penny tax, okay.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
I also just wanted to let everybody know that in this week's Beresford Republic and next week's Beresford Republic, there's going to be a notice of vacancy for the council members, Ward 1, 2, and 3 for a 2-year term, which would be Troy Boone's, Mike Tiedemann's, and Teresa's Swagan's seat. So that's going to be in the newspaper this week and next week.
What you said, do you have the final numbers for the golf course this year?
Close.
Okay, forward. Anything else?
That would be all.
Okay. No old business, new business, Braz Engineering agreement for 2022.
Jeff was saying, Rose would like to move forward a little quicker this year than they did last year and getting the bids let and all that kind of stuff. So if we are willing to participate again with them like we did last year, they put a proposal for their services not to exceed $10,200. I believe it was $10,000 last year, but we have the somewhere in that vicinity. And under the compensation, it talks about what they will do and how they do that, all the way from the first map to the specs, to the award process, to they do all the quality control while they're here, and they put the final pay application together. And then the project information is on the second page there, so give you an idea of that. Jeff, you want to, were you satisfied last year? And
I was happy with it. I thought it went really well, went quick. With them picking up the chips and stuff, that saved us a bunch of time, a bunch of wear and tear. I was pleased with it.
It was a good value.
Yeah,
And they got everything done you wanted done last year?
yeah.
The end product was phenomenal. That extra coat, saving all that dust and the rock movement.
The only thing that they had problems with was when they came to pick up the chips. They didn't have a truck with them. One of them had just quit, and the other one was taking time off. So we chased him with the truck. So he did, because his plan was to run to the pile of the dark horse and dump every time the sweeper was full. So you're going to be here for 3 weeks doing that. So we chased him with the truck, and they reimbursed us for that. So
They did?
Yeah.
How long did that take, like a day?
yeah, I thought we were there. They showed up about 10 o'clock and wrapped it up. I think he went home about 7:30.
Well, that was the only thing that didn't go as planned.
Right. So,
Need a motion on that, Jerry?
yes, please.
Shot to make a motion for Bro Engineering Agreement for Professional Services 2022 Multi-Community Asphalt Surface Treatment Project. As Jerry Simon stated, the limit is $10,200. And the other expenses, if any, is on page 1 or 2.
Second.
Motion by Schott and seconded to approve Bros Engineering Agreement for Professional Services for 2022 Multi-Community Asphalt Surface Treatment Project. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Approved. Next item is pay request number 7. This DGR, Jerry.
Yeah, just BGR there. The total is 2,553. It's 16.
Payable to IES
Yeah, ID.
commercial.
And we still have a final balance of 44,000 that'll be due, but until everything's signed off on, we won't pay that. So
I make a motion, pay request number 7 to IES for $2,553.16.
Boone second.
Motion by Spagan and seconded to authorize pay request number 7 to IES Commercial Services in the amount of $2,553.16. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Fire Department report was included in your packet.
Tar said he could be in the next meeting if you wanted to come and go over it further, but I said we'll try to get through it tonight, so you guys are okay with just make a motion to accept it, because everything's pretty well detailed, and if you wanted to, I can send you all the calls that they went on. You can actually go in and look further about each of them if you wanted to really dig into what they did, but all the information's there, so Tars just wanted to make sure you got it here, first part of the year.
Need a motion?
Yeah, if you just make a motion that you accept the report, that'd be great.
Shall make a motion for 2021 Fire Department report for City of Beresford, South Dakota, as included in the packet.
Second.
Motion by Schott and seconded to accept the 2021 Fire Department report. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Set public hearing date for ordinance 2022-01 to amend chapter 14 of the Beresford zoning regulation.
Just quickly, planning and zoning did have a public hearing at their last meeting to review this. Mike McGill is the only person in there. He's working with Nathan Jensen on a building that he owns and is trying to sell just in the central business district, just a few blocks to the north of us. He had previously rezoned that to residential. Unfortunately, the bankers would not finance the purchase of that building because if something would happen to the building where over 50% of it was damaged, you could not repair that building to the same size and setbacks that are currently there. It would have to go with the new setback requirements, which would make the building about half the size as it is today. So we are looking to change that and allow a structure that is currently of that width, and if it does not meet the legal setbacks, they can still rebuild that, and the bankers would be happy with that. So that's what we're doing. So you guys will have to have a hearing on it. You'll have a first reading of the ordinance, a second reading, and then we have to publish it still. So it's about a 2.5, 3 month process, but we thought we'd go forward with it. I think the people that are purchasing the building are willing to wait that out. So we have to set the date for the next meeting is what we have to do.
Does this apply just to one structure or any structure?
It'll be any structure that falls within that.
So if we make this change for this one particular example, can you foresee anything in the future where this may not be a good fit, but we don't want this ordinance in place?
I guess I haven't really looked into any other ones.
I mean,
This was different because it was central business, and they switched it over to residential because he couldn't get it sold as a business, ongoing business. So they want to live in it as a residential property, and that's the reason for this one. The setbacks on residential are 25 off the front, 7 on the sides, and 20 off the back. Well, this one here is basically it's the whole footprint of the building is the exterior diameter, and the outside of the property, or the property line is the exterior walls of the building. So anything downtown, every building downtown, you can build right up to your lot line. So
this is only for residential.
yes. Yeah. So anyway, you're just setting a hearing date at this point in time. If you guys want to have a bunch more questions or anything, that'll be during the public hearing process. And planning and zoning has already recommended that to move forward with the project. They were okay with that.
And just, the question I would have is this wouldn't be for anything new. This would only be replace something that was existing.
You're exactly right.
Okay.
So if this building burned down and it was zoned residential, you could build it back to the same exact size it was. If we had to rezone this particular building to residential.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, you could only build it up to 50% of the size it is right now.
Gotcha.
Cover up to 50% of the lot.
So the hearing date's when? Next meeting?
You will set the hearing date for the next meeting, yes.
Which is February 7th.
Yeah.
So Doug makes a motion to set a public hearing date for ordinance 2022-01 for February 7th during the city council. Or is there going to be a special meeting or what?
No.
So just at 7 p.m. on February 7th.
We'll just have a public hearing. Start off the meeting.
Second. Motion by Doug and seconded to set public hearing date for ordinance 2022-01 for February 7th. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those aye. Opposed? Approved. Is there a motion to enter into executive session to discuss the legal?
Second.
Motion by Svagen and seconded to enter into executive session to discuss legal in relation to